What's up, guys? So, this is my take on the planet aquarium that I just finished building 2 days ago, and it's pretty much in a good condition as of now. Got some folks around there. Let me just walk you through it. So, I got some nerite snails, got a bunch of shrimps. At least I've got I guess there are like 8 or 11 of them. I guess it's 11, yeah. So I have a mix of those cherries, and I've got some amano in there. And as you can see, I've got like 4 ember tetras and 5 um, the galaxy raspora, or also known as the celestial daniels. The place that I bought it from called them galaxy raspora, so I'm gonna stick with that name. And yeah, I got a Betta right up on the top. I know a lot of people will say that why do you have a Betta in a community tank, but well, they get a lot of negative connotation to it. I think this guy has been doing fine. Now, I did use some of the YouTube suggestions on how you can have a male Betta in your tank living in a community. I'm gonna post the link in this video about a girl who was pretty much shared her experience with how she selected her Betta, and I pretty much went with that. Now, I would say that I used a little bit of discipline from time to time with my Betta, because I've seen he sometimes chases the shrimps, but the shrimps are pretty hardcore in this tank because they pretty much stand their ground every time they come face to face with the Betta. But most of the time he's very docile. He doesn't bother the folks in his aquarium, and he knows that he's the pretty much the star of the show. So yeah, he gets that respect. So as you can see, he just went to his nuke, and he doesn't like people coming into his nuke. So that's his nuke behind that big rock. That's where he sleeps most of the time. Now, to tell you about the tank, this is I got this from Petco. The brand was Topfin, and it comes with their own built-up. But as I was researching, I realized that I want to have more stuff in that tank, so I replaced the filter with an aquaclear 30-gallon. So I have much more filtration capacity, and that is the reason why I have so many fishes in this tank, because the filter is able to recycle all the waste. I did cycle it. I waited like almost 3.5 weeks for my tank to cycle before I introduce any of the fishes, and I was using the stuff. Let me bring that up. So I used the Seachem stability, the stability solution that's available from Seachem for introducing the beneficial bacteria in your tank. And I checked my water quality every day, and I used the API test kit for that. And every day I used it just to see when it stabilized. As soon as I got my nitrogen spike, or the nitrate, the ammonia spike, and then I got my nitrate and the nitrite levels measured out, that's when I knew that my tank has cycled. So it's pretty much a standard routine. Nothing surprised me. I do use a fertilizer for my plants. This is a Seek and Flourish, and this is very helpful. The plants have been growing pretty good. I would recommend that you use the hygrophilia seeds to do the carpeting, because I tried carpeting initially with all those the stuff that you can buy online, but it wasn't producing the results. It wasn't uniform, it was patchy. So I just emptied my tank. I threw in a bunch of seeds over there, and that's the end result. I mean, see, it still has some patches over there, and that's usually because the snails and the shrimps sometimes go into hiding at night, and they use those areas. But I got a coconut cove over there. That's a pretty awesome place. That's the hideout for most of the shrimps. They actually, if I just pull it over, you'll see like 5 or 6 just shoot out of it. And I got these wooden logs. I have a weight tied to it so that it stays stable. Got the Anubias nana in there tied to it, and there's one other variety of Anubias back over there. Got some bamboo shoots in the bank, and these red plants, I'm not remembering the name, but next time probably I'll be able to get a hold of it, because these are pretty long names to remember. And this is the first time I'm doing this, so yeah, I might have to spend a little more time to get familiar with the name of all these plants. Right down the corner I have tiger lotus. It's just still small, so I'm growing it from the bulb, so it's taken its sweet time to grow. And I put some river rocks on the plants just to keep them stabilized so they don't float, and it helps keep them anchored to the substrate level. And what else do you have? Yeah, I replaced the heater also that comes with the tank. So I used a cobalt 75 watt. I mean, ideally I need a 50 watt, but that was not available in the store, also on Amazon online. So I just went with the one that was available. I have it set at 80 degrees because that's pretty much a sweet spot and the common spot for most of the inhabitants in this tank. And they have been doing pretty well. I had some issues 2 days ago. The fishes were not eating because sometimes, when you bring these fishes from the stores, they have already got used to a particular kind of meal, and usually they just give them pellets. But for the Betta, I give it bloodworms. Sometimes he likes eating the flakes. That's you can see some flakes that you might have noticed, and he does like munching on them too from time to time. And yeah, it's doing pretty good. It's a good time. I mean, it's very nice. It's very soothing to sit next to it and just watch these guys float around. And I have this small floating what do you call this, a toy for the Betta. He likes going in there from time to time, especially at night. That's where he sleeps. If he doesn't like, if he's getting bothered too much at night behind that rock, he'll go and sleep in there. And yeah, the one last thing, the water. So the water I'm using is not my tap water. I measured my tap water quality, and the tap water was really trash. So I have a RO system in my apartment which I use for myself. So I just went with that equation that I'll give the same stuff to these guys because that's what I'm drinking. And that water quality is pretty soft, has very less TDS. The pH is almost like very neutral, and so the water quality is very good in this tank. And that's the reason. I mean, I still measure my tank quality every day. If I miss, then every 2 days. But even with the amount of fishes that you see in this tank, the levels are very stable. And I have to recycle. I only recycle like 30% of my tank every week. So that pretty much is, that sums it up, I guess, everything about this tank that I have done so far. Now, I don't plan on introducing any more fishes in this tank. As of now, I think this is a very good situation, and once these guys start growing, I will be shifting into a bigger tank, like probably a 30-gallon, just to have some variety over there. So, well, let me know in your comments how you felt, how you guys liked it, and if it's something out of equation that you don't like, if I'm doing it wrong, then please do share your comments on it. I would really appreciate it. As I said, I'm not very experienced hobbyist on this thing, just got started on this one, so I think I like learning from other people. So yeah, leave me your comments, and I appreciate you spending time on this video. You all have a good weekend.